Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So, I wanted to share some of the horrible, no good, awful things that Donald Trump's administration has been doing over the past couple of days. If you hear some noise in the background, it's because it is coming down hard. The rain is coming down really hard right now. Anyway, as I'm sure you all know by now, they have cut approximately 50% of the education department staff. This is going to have huge ramifications. And the Department of Education secretary, the woman who Trump nominated and has put in place, is Linda McMahon. If you didn't know, she admitted on TV with her own mouth that yes, the whole goal is to shut this entire department down. They want it gone. They want to demolish and, just completely disable the education department. They want the states to be able to make decisions. What could go wrong, right? We've seen how the states have handled the issue of abortion. So I'm sure that dealing with children's education and dealing with discrimination and helping children with disabilities, that's all going to go just as great as the whole abortion thing has gone. Um, as you also probably all know by now, Doge and Elon Musk have been rooting around in the Social Security Department. Elon Musk just admitted that it's something that he'd like to cut. I showed you guys that video the other day. He referred to entitlements, which means Social Security and Medicaid, Medicare, as, quote, the big one, something Donald Trump has never heard. Anyway, the Washington Post also reported yesterday, though, that the Social Security Agency, because of Doge, was considering cutting phone programs used by the elderly and disabled Americans. So, according to the Washington Post, 73 million people rely on this program, and about 40% of all Social Security claims are made by phone. So these agents help people to apply for access to Social Security benefits. They help them with questions about the forms, all kinds of stuff. Instead, what Doge wanted to do was force the elderly and disabled Americans to either use the internet, so go online, go on the website, use that, or go in person to a Social Security office. First of all, it is safe to assume a good number of Social Security recipients don't know how to use the internet, or they may not even have internet access, right? We know this. This is especially true in rural areas where people don't have internet. And, as you get older, it gets harder to remember things and navigate things and make decisions. And, so they're asking for a lot. Some people may not even own a computer. And some, they're not going to be able to get to an office. They may not have a car. They may not have a driver's license anymore. Or if they're, very disabled, they may not have a license at all. They may have never had a license. Again, if you have people in the rural areas, they may live too far away. And then I shared too the other day how Doge has been shutting down Social Security offices. So now they're going to be even farther and fewer between. So just a nightmare. And basically, they've walked most of it back. And I think it was because of articles pointing out, like the Washington Post pointed out, disability claims are particularly onerous because there's a ton of paperwork involved. They have to complete documentation, submit medical records. So, now you're talking about another piece of equipment that they have to deal with. They have to scan documents, more technology, scanning documents, attaching them to emails or uploading them to websites. So, I don't know what the hell that they were thinking, but they've decided to scale back that decision. So now they're saying, oh, okay, well, yeah, we're going to leave the phone system in place. But if you want to change your direct deposit of your benefits, then you can't do that over the phone anymore. So, okay, whatever. That, we'll see if they leave it at that. And then there was more bad news. So this also came out yesterday. The U.S. Department of Agriculture just nixed two programs. So one is the Local Food for Schools Cooperative Agreement Program. Could they come up with longer names? I swear to God. So that particular program provided money to schools so that they could purchase food from local farms and ranches. There was another program they cut called the Local Food Purchase Assistant Cooperative Agreement. That provides funding for food banks and other organizations, places that help with people who can't afford food. And it provided them with the funds to go also purchase food from farms and ranchers. So now schools, childcare facilities, they're looking at losing just this year alone $660 million in funding to feed children. And, these food banks and other groups that, like I said, are helping to feed poor communities, they're not going to receive necessary funds. And, in addition to taking away food, literally taking food out of people's mouths that obviously need it, you're also taking money away from local farmers. So again, just going to have the worst outcome for the economy. And evidently, the Biden administration had just increased funding for both of these programs. But tell me again how it didn't really matter who won. Didn't really, they're all the same. Really? Okay. And a Trump spokesperson, this is what they said about taking this away. Quote, "These programs created under the former administration via executive authority no longer effectuate the goals of the agency." So what is the goal of the agency then? Is it to starve people? Is it to take money away from local businesses? I mean, it sounds like it, right? Sounds like the cruelty really is the point with the Trump regime. This next one, though, I mean, that was cruel. This next one is insane, absolutely insane in the membrane. Perfect example here of why you don't want to give a conspiracy theorist nut job like Kash Patel power, why you don't want him in charge of anything. So you're just not going to believe this. Trump's FBI is trying to charge climate change groups for receiving government funding. Yes, you heard that right. You heard me correct. They are literally they are attempting to charge groups like Habitat for Humanity and other groups that the government contracted with to help with climate change. They're trying to charge them for crimes. The FBI ordered Citibank to freeze all of their bank accounts, or I guess in the Citibank instance, it's to freeze the bank account of Habitat for Humanity. And they're saying that these groups were involved in a quote unquote conspiracy to defraud the United States. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here. Trump and his allies are so detached from reality. They're so completely out of their minds, insane. They have been so brainwashed by the right wing and by big business, obviously, by corporations, that they honestly believe that climate change is a hoax. And so anyone who was receiving money to help alleviate climate change, anyone who is receiving government funds for that purpose, is a criminal conspirator. These people are certifiably batshit crazy. It's that simple. They have fallen for corporate propaganda. They have fallen for big oil propaganda, or they're in the back pocket of big oil. And they're like, no, let's just pretend that it's a hoax, doesn't exist, because we love the money that we're getting from big oil, from, all of these corporations and entities that destroy our climate, that are destroying the planet. We're good with that. Anyway, last but not least, definitely not least, Trump has asked the military to come up with a plan so that he can take the Panama Canal by force. Again, I wish I was joking, but this is where we are. This is where we are as a country. Absolute insanity, absolute lunacy, asinine decisions, ridiculous, unlawful prosecutions. I mean, I don't even know. I just don't even know. And, you know, you've got the Senate now, from what I'm hearing, playing with the idea of actually allowing their continuing resolution to go through this week. That secretly they don't want to stop the government funding, that they're pretending like they do. You know, and who freaking leaked this to the press? I mean, wow, way to keep it a secret by getting it into major media publications that you're playing chicken and you plan on pulling up at the last minute. That you're gonna be the first one to blink. That you're afraid to let the government funding freeze, and that the you know, you're afraid to let the government shut down. Have you ever seen that level of cuckery, of complete capitulation and fear, and just like, I don't know. I don't even know what to call it anymore. I mean, they just are feckless. They're weaklings. I mean, have you ever seen that level of weakness from the Republicans? No, they stake their claim. They go, this is what we want, and we are not giving in until we get it. Democrats, on the other hand, are like, oh, well, we're going to pretend like we're going to be tough. But then at the last minute, you know, we're going to give in because we're a bunch of freaking wimps. Shoot the hostage. I'm telling you, if I was in charge, if I was Chuck Schumer, I would shoot the hostage, and not just in the leg. You have to show them that you mean it, or they're never going to take you seriously. And you know who else is not going to take you seriously? We, the Democratic voters. So anyway, if they give in on this with all of this crap going on, I don't even know what to say. This is not a real party anymore. All right, guys, I will let you know when I hear more. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.